Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Nemesis Gaming League, where the grind continues. We are back for our next matchup here at All-Star Night. Very special night tonight. We're moving in to the Novice League. We've got the East versus the West Conference. As usual, what we're doing up and down all night tonight. Your boy Psychonautic in the booth for this one, ready to bring this action straight to your viewership. And I am joined by the director himself, Rocker Chat. Rocker, man, how you doing?
Psycho, I'm doing great. So far, the West has been doing good, and I'm actually really excited for this matchup, Psycho, because the East, they have never won. They've never won against the West in the Novice League All-Star match, and they are 0-5. But last season, Psycho, they were so close. It looked like it was the season. Everyone was like, "This is the season. The East is finally gonna win." They're up 2-0. Boom, the West comes back, reverse sweeps them, and they still stay 0-5. So I'm really excited to see if the East can shut them down, and I think they've got a really good shot here to kind of hand it to them on this season with the roster that they do have.
Yeah, I was just gonna point that out. The Eastern Conference Novice team is looking pretty hot. Coming in with Izachad, Dre, Kusei, I think that's how you pronounce that. Sorry if I mispronounced it, but and then LNR Vita to round that out. All four of those guys really. Vita, the former champion, I believe, on Ignite. Izachad, been known in the Novice League for a couple of seasons now, making big waves.
Yeah, definitely. I mean that East squad is. Oof, they're looking good, and they're going to be going up against some other formidable foes. We have Brittany the Blade, who's been a novice. You know, he's been one of those guys on novice that's been around All Star this season, but he's been one of those top three. I believe he's top three in MVP voting a couple seasons ago. So first team All Novice. May even been last season, but they also have Septune, and they're going to be having Mallow here, who is the normally reserve, but he's subbing in for North, who can't make it. So it's going to be Brindy, Septune, and Mallow. So I'm very curious to see how they're going to match up. Obviously, it's like for me, I think I'm well in the East favor at this point, especially without North showing up to this one. But you know, Psycho, we all thought last season that it was going to be the East time. So you never know what can happen. Sometimes it's all that momentum. You know, even though it's different seasons, different players, sometimes the momentum still carries over. Just knowing that, hey, no one's ever won for the Novice East, so there is a bit of pressure on them representing their entire conference.
Yeah, and I mean, best of luck to them. But I personally, I gotta go with the West. Oh wait, let me just ask real quick because I don't know. What is the Pantheon in East or West?
The Pantheon is in the East.
Okay, well, darn.
He's gonna be biased. He's like, I'm gonna take my conference here.
Right. Well, I mean, but
Honestly,
I did move. Yeah, I mean, my last two orgs were both on the West side, so I think I'm gonna still pull for the West side here. I don't got any dogs in this race. None of my Gorgons made it in, so I'm gonna have to go with the West side here, Rocker Man.
All right. Well, we will have to see. I think we're missing someone, so we may have to. Oh, are they just going? It looks like they're just going. Welcome to the All-Star match here. Is they're gonna get into things, but yeah, we'll definitely see. I will be watching out to see how Kusei and Dre are gonna perform, and obviously Izachad. I just love that roster. You know, to be honest, like I don't want to like predict a bloodbath, but I want to predict a bloodbath. But we're gonna see here, and I think the West, you know, definitely. I want to see something. I want to see how Mallow's gonna step up. He's gonna be the big X factor in my book. We know Brindy, and I think we know a decent bit about Septune. Obviously, he's newer to Nemesis this season, but I want to see if Mallow's gonna step up here. We're rocking the hot rod there, and we'll see. They got the cards to show here. Having a little bit of fun on All-Star Night.
Yeah, and oh my goodness, Malo almost putting that one in, almost fulfilling your dream there, Rocker Man, pulling up for his team, but his shot's going to bounce off of the top crossbar there. Malo with a touch into his corner. Dre sticking with it, though, but Malo's there to take it away from him. Clears it past the midline and hits it to the backboard. Kusei there to get a touch. Izachad going to collide with one of the opponents as Dre's going to take control. He hits it off the side, though, loses control. Brindy's there for the 50. Malo with the touch, but can't get the ball on net. As Izachad going to send it back out. Kusei trying to take his time. Dre with a huge interception on Septune there, trying to open up some space for his teammate. However, the East is still just kind of in their own side here, Rocker Man. It looks like the West is not really giving them a lot of room to breathe so far.
No, and that's how you got to operate against a couple players who are very mechanical and need space. If you have mechanical players on their team like Dre, like Chad, you gotta cut off their space. That is the one thing. As here comes a huge bump of Mallow, even bigger save there. And yeah, so far the West has looked really good cutting off their space. That is definitely their key to victory. But you can only hold them off for so long. And here comes Chad Dre with the pass, and finally the East is gonna break through. 2:56 left. A nice little play there.
And the two players you called out stepping up to the plate here. Dre getting a nice mechanical shot on net, which is just going to bounce off of the defender, leaving an easy shot for Izachat to come in, clean that up, and take the lead. East looking hot right now as we are getting closer and closer to the end of the first half of this game, and that was dangerous for the West. For the now I'm getting mixed up. For the East. The West almost scored right there as the ball just floated in front of the net. However, they were able to clear that away. Septune not able to get back to that ball. Izachat going to make the touch out of the corner, waiting for Brindy. And Septune there hits it back to Malo Kuse with the dunk. This could be dangerous for the West. Septune's up, misses the touch, but nobody from the East there to capitalize on that. As Septune is just going to do everything he can to get that ball cleared out. And, I'm just now realizing this, Rocker Man. You pointed out Malo's car selection earlier, but the other two West players also playing with some unconventional cars out here.
Yeah, they are. I think it's a Scarab, and oh gosh, I'm blanking on the other one. It's one of the older cars too. The one that Brindy's in. Oh, someone's gonna say it. Hot Shot. Okay, that's the Hot Shot. And then what is Mel's the hot or the Rat Rod or what is it called?
Oh man, you're gonna backfire.
Okay, that sounds about right. See, it's like I've been playing this game since 2015, but I do not remember the card names because I just haven't seen them in that long. Everyone does the Scarab, but yeah, these a little bit unconventional here, and they might have an unconventional here. But Hussein is gonna get back, and you love to see it. Obviously, it's All-Star night, so these guys love to have a little bit of fun, and it's all about having fun. Obviously, you want to represent your conference and see if you can get a win for them, but it's also see if you can get some clips on the stream here. You don't often get to go on stream playing with these really high level players, all on the same pitch. So you can often see a lot of cool things. And even though we may be a novice, I still expect some people to try to go for some clips.
Yeah, and Novice, I hear, this season was no different from any season that I've been a part of Novice. These guys were warming up together. And I think some people find that kind of funny as you display and laugh at it. But I don't know. I think Novice really kind of need it. They take this sort of not seriously, but kind of seriously at the same time.
Yeah, they do, and it's oh my gosh! Wait a minute! Hold up a second, Kusei with that shot. That was a tight angle there that he found on net. As Dre pops it, a nice pinch, and look at this angle right here, just right next to the backboard. That's a perfect shot, and that's the reason he is one of the best in Novice this season. A great shot, and back to the warming up point. Obviously, it's Novice. These guys aren't the best players. Probably around C1 to C3 area. Some of them even a little bit higher since they peaked during the season. But you definitely need to warm up in those lower ranks for sure. But now with 15 seconds left, the East is holding on here in the West. It's looking like they're gonna have to start looking for game number 2 because once the time expires here, the East gonna take game 1. But honestly, I'm impressed with the West. They've had the pressure for a good bit of this game, but they just couldn't sustain it for long enough to result in a goal as that one finally touches the ground in the East. Going to take game number 1.
Yeah, and I gotta wonder, what's going through the West guys' heads at this point. I know I saw Malo interacting with North a little bit earlier in the Discord. North was telling him, hey, I gotta work, yada yada yada, but get out there and do me proud, Malo. And Malo didn't seem too confident. I'm not gonna lie. He said, "Man, you got some big shoes to fill. I don't know if I can do that, but maybe in game 2, the West will turn things around here and give us a bit of a show."
Yeah, we'll have to see. And something I know Malo maybe hated on himself a little bit, but he did get in here through the GM selection. He was named as the reserve, but he's still averaging over 300 score a game. And actually, he's averaging more score per game than Brindy, who took home the fan vote there from the Vandals. So I wouldn't hate on Mallow here. I mean, he may be hating on himself a little bit, but I think he did a solid job in the GM showdown. And we'll have to see though. You do have some shoes to fill with North, who is probably if not the best player on the West roster, one of the best players on the West roster. So definitely some shoes to fill. And as things get into this next game, we'll see if the West can battle back, as they have gone ahead and a couple of them have swapped cars here to the Lamborghini. Lamborghinis are out here for the West.
Yeah, I was gonna say another interesting development is that Septune and Brindy both. Ooh, Septune almost with a dunk, but Septune and Brindy both changing their cars up again. I can't tell what Septune is in. I'm like, oh man,
that's the old one from like the scare. It was like the Scarab era with what do you call
Proteus.
it? Proteus. There you go.
Proteus
is way back in the Wasteland days. So he's rocking the Proteus. You gotta respect it here. Usually you see the high level players doing that psycho. They say, hey, they could really play in any car. I think it might affect these guys a little bit more than the Titan League players, but you still love to see it, and respect for the confidence and try to go out here and play with with that abomination of a car.
With the taxi top, no less.
This man is on the front.
This man is getting people to their destinations out here. With 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. Is a Chad up looking for the double, but can't find it. Kusei gonna get a demo in the net, trying to clear things out, but not gonna be able to do anything for his team. Kusei up with the touch, but it's not gonna go on target. Brindy popping it up over Chad. Septune trying to stick with it. We can't get it away from Dre. Brindy's there in the corner. Brindy to stick with it. Kusei pops it out, trying to get it towards the mid. Is a Chad looking to get a shot, but it's going to go wide of the net. Septune to send that one all the way down. Brindy's there for it, bouncing it out of the corner. Dre going to get beat by Malo, but he does get in front of the ball. Kusei to hit it away from the net before it gets too dangerous for the East there. Dre trying to find Izachat in the pass play. Kusei with an empty, or not an empty net, but a clear lane to shoot through.
Yeah, Kusei, the menace here. He's averaging 1.44 goals a game in the Novice League. The man is putting up some insane numbers, and if my memory serves, that's got to be top 5 in all of Nemesis. So that might even be first. I'd have to take another look, but I mean, the man can score. There's a huge reason why he was a selection here for All-Star. And here comes Mallow. Wait a minute, and he's gonna put it in and maybe fill up these shoes here a little bit. As Septune, he got it to the destination, right to Mallow.
Yeah, great pass from Septune there. Malo there just ready to put it in. He does. Now we got a tied ball game. West finally waking up from their slumber. Let's see if they can carry this momentum forward, maybe get the first win of the series, maybe just tie this series up instead of giving East all the momentum that they need going into game 3. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, as Rockerman pointed out earlier, if East is able to bag this win, this will be the first time since season 3, since Novice started, that East is able to get a win off of the West and All-Stars. So this is going to be this could be Nemesis history right here, Rockerman.
I mean, we're already having history tonight with this stream. First ever time we're having 7 matches streamed here on All-Star Night in our biggest season yet, and it could be seeing history here if the East can pull it off. But the West, they're hanging around still here. It hasn't been blowouts. The first game was close, only 2-0, and the West had their opportunities. And right now, they are all tied up here. So East gonna have to look to battle back here in the final minute 40 if they want to put themselves in the same spot as the season 7 East, which was up 2-0.
Oh, and Dre almost getting a nice double there. His shot not going to get on net. Kusei misreading that ball and giving Septune a little bit of space. Izachat with the dunk. Brindy looking awkward, but Malo there to help him out. Dre with the double touch off the sideboard. Brindy gets the touch out of the corner. Kusei puts it off the backboard. Septune is unfortunately in a not good spot. There wasn't much he could do there as Dre just comes in and shoots it around him.
Yeah, good pass here. And Dre has the option. Where do you want to shoot it? He decided to go low and slow. And unfortunately, Septune not quite ready for that, and he may have been getting bumped there, or an attempted bump from Kusei on the rotation through. And yeah, you're right. That was a tough one to make a play on. And now with a minute left, the West has to try to regain. And I'm looking at Septune. Oh my goodness, as he pitches it across the net there dangerously. But I'm looking at Septune to see if he can step up. He was that guy that was selected by the management here, nearly averaging 400 score a game and almost a goal per game, leading these Western nominees. So we'll see if he can put one in. Here comes Brindy though, trying to put it. Here comes Septune again, but they are trying to put some pressure in, but they can't quite find it here.
It's unfortunate. They got all the pressure that they need. They just can't find the back of the net. In the final 30 seconds, Dre's starting to get a little bit mechanical. Brindy taking it away from him. Here's a chat off the backboard, sending it down to the mid. Malo's there. A huge mistouch from Izachat off the backboard is going to result in a goal from the West.
Yeah, I think Izachat wanted to follow that, and Dre just, I don't know, maybe expected a little better clear, caught over boost over ball. I'm not sure, but Malo is waiting in the midfield, and he is stepping up. He has got 2 goals in this game, both of them huge. And we talked about it. Malo, he wasn't quite confident himself, but he's doing exactly what he needs to do here, and he's looking for another one, but he's gonna be shut down.
In the final 10 seconds, we got a tied ball game. Looking at possibly the first OT of this series. Kusei getting up there and putting a dangerous position on that ball. There you have it. Overtime in game number 2. Which will take it here, the East or the West? Whoever wins this, the East wins it, they go up by 2 in this best of 5 series. And if the West wins it, they're going to tie up this series at 1, moving into game 3, which is really what they need. They want that equal footing. This East roster is really, really scary. And giving them that much momentum is not going to work out in their favor. Septune tries to get a shot on net, but can't. And Kusei to send that one all the way down. Septune getting the touch, and Brindy with the bump follows the ball. He's still with it, out of the corner, puts it out towards the mid. Dre's going to beat Septune to that ball. And in the mid, Kusei pops it up. Dre's there, up to Kusei again. Oh my goodness, no way. And they get it up, they get it away from the offense, and they get that ball cleared out.
Oh my gosh.
A minute in, Rocker Man. That was a novice moment.
It was a novice moment, but it was almost peak from Dre and Kusa. They almost just pinched it in, a little 2-man play, but the defense for the West is just enough. And here comes a great pass. Oh my goodness, the pass and the shot. Brindy, the blade, sniping it home, and the West is here to play and tie this series up.
Brindy stepping up, showing us why he's a starter. He's been a novice starter since that man walked into Nemesis, and we are seeing exactly why. Sniped that ball out. Ended the game, tied up the series, 1-1 moving into game 3. We got ourselves a ball game right now, Rocker Man.
Yeah, and I'm very impressed with the West right now. They're kind of trying to prove me wrong here, Psycho. I said, I think the East could blow them out here, but they are not having any of that, and they're playing impressively well here. Malo, the 2 goals, and that was a dime on the last one. That last pass was absolute dime right there from Malo. And yeah, I mean, the West, they're right back in it. This is a ball game right here, and we're gonna have to see. I think, for the East, for me, I want to see Izachat step a little bit of a mistouch, maybe a little bit of miscommunication. But Dre and Kusei seem to be going all offense, and maybe Izachat just trying to fit in. And it's like, that's the one thing, about these all-star matches. Obviously, you have great players in the regular season on their individual teams, but a lot of these guys, they're playing on their individual teams as, I'm the first man. I'm going to go attack. I'm going to score the ball. I'm going to save the ball. I am that guy. And in this game, is Malo off the kickoff 2 seconds in. Sometimes it's just not the same. It's not the same. And you can see it right there. 2 people going for boost, and Malo just destruction on the kickoff. He's putting on a performance.
I gotta say, classic novice when you have both of your teammates go for the back boost. Nobody cheats, nobody stays in net. You love to see it. Malo opening up a can of spinach. She's just gonna 50 that ball to the defender. Dre trying to get mechanical. Septune on the goal line. I think again, I'm pretty sure he was the one that got that backflip ball out of the goal line last game, and he's coming through again. Just clutched up for the West. as they hold the lead. Only 30 seconds gone from this game so far. Plenty of time for things to transpire. Kusei going to miss the ball. And it looks like, dare I say it, one of the looks like the East is starting to catch on to this trend, Rocker Man. Kusei busting out the venom.
There you go. You love to see it switch it up a little bit, and yeah, I think there might be someone in an Ecto out there. Is that it? No, it's not an Ecto. There is an Ecto, maybe. No, I'm just probably seeing things. I don't even know what this car is from Brindy, but it looks sick, and I'm loving the cars. And it's like there's got to be some plot armor on the West. There's been some insane saves that should have gone into the goal, but there's just some novice plot armor that just needs to see the West win right here. And I mean, they're just doing everything in their power to make it happen, making great saves, making great goals, and they're trying to battle back here and take a 2-1 series lead on the East.
You love to see it. You love to see it as a former West player, novice. I think I've been in All-Star like 3 or 4 times, so got to be a part of the dubs. But I love
was dubbing a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Didn't make it this year, but hey, it's all good. I've had a trash year, so I don't blame them. I've been doing so bad.
You can't make it every year, Psycho.
Nah, you can't. Well, some people do, right?
Some people do.
Yeah, like the people who can rig it.
No one in this call, of course,
would
ever make it every year.
Nah,
but that wouldn't happen. But oh my gosh, what is happening here? Speaking of some, well, I don't even know. That's not rigged, but that was chaotic there as the West almost found another one. And my goodness, Psycho, I want to bring it back to my other point is they're trying to restyle a little bit. I wonder if Chad, Kusei and Dre are just clashing their play styles, because I feel like these three huge goal scorers on their teams, but you can't have everyone be an insane goal scorer in this one. Someone's got to be, you got to have the rotations here. Oh my goodness, Kusei.
Wow. That was just a heads up play from Kusei right there. Gets the flip reset and around the final defender. We see it showing us why he is known as one of the best novices in Season 8. Rocker Man, that was disgusting.
That was disgusting. I wish the viewers could have seen my face there, because I was disgusted by that. And speaking of disgusted, Mallow is just putting on a clinic. He's got 4 goals in the last 2 games here, putting in some work. Septune lofts it up off the crossbar, and Mallow, the finisher, puts it in the West and right back in the lead here.
Yeah, that Mallow is looking hot out here tonight. Super happy to see it happen. I thought after game 1, I was like, man, even though it was still pretty close, I thought, wow, these guys are just going to sort of get beat out, slow, quiet death here. But happy to see Mallow wake up in game number 2, continue to stay awake in game number 3, pulling this down. Brindy and Septune both doing fantastic jobs to support Mallow. And Septune, especially on the goal line, has just been a menace to the East. But Chad trying to put one on, gets it off the backboard. Kusei's there once again. We're going to have a tie ball game. I'll tell you, Rocker Man, they cannot let Kusei have a touch on the ball in front of their net.
Yeah, and I think the East is starting to, maybe right there, or maybe in the last little bit, they're kind of realizing what they need to do in their play style. And I think it's lofting this ball high up in the air, trying to get mechanical, trying to get space. And I mentioned at the beginning, the West, they had to cut off the space from these guys. But the East, if they loft it up high, they're mechanical enough. I mean, all 3 of these guys, very gifted mechanically. Probably the best mechanical players in the league here. And here comes another goal. You got to keep it away from them. And Chad coming through, catching out the West. I think it's just a huge 50. Oh, it's a double commit there on the goal line, and Chad puts it in.
Yeah, I think there might have been 2 separate doubles there. I couldn't tell if Septune had doubled on Brindy, but it looked like Septune and Brindy doubled, and then Mallow doubled behind Septune. And oh my goodness, Kusei running away with this game. The East now up by 2 in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, that's a novice moment from Mallow there. He's trying to go for the kickoff, just accidentally double jumps. That's a certified novice moment. I'm sure Mallow would tell you himself. That's one. He would be spamming the emote, I'm sure, on himself. But with a minute 30 left, that's tough, because the West, they were up 2-1, and all of a sudden now they find themselves down 4-2 in really just a matter of seconds. And that could be a little demoralizing. They got to try to find something here quickly here, especially in this game 3. It's a crucial game right here. Malo trying to get a pass over. Oh, a little dime there, but is a Chad just there in time. Great defense, and the East kind of starting to feel out this West squad and starting to make some things work out there.
Yeah, good coordination from the West right there, but the double commit again comes out. That might have been they might have been able to turn that into a conversion if they hadn't have doubled there in the midfield, as they caught Kusei in a very awkward position. However, it did not work out. Dre looking for an amazing angle. Kusei not able to get it either. We see another double commit from the West. These guys are starting to kind of crumble in these final seconds as Kusei is going to catch that ball and sneak another one past the defense.
Yeah, they are a little bit crumbling here. Psycho, just a great catch. Caught Septune out. Caught him jumping early. And Kusei, just perfect placement. And there is a big reason why he's one of the best in Novice League this season. He is a goal scorer. And I believe my math serves. Oh, that's the 4th goal, actually. He had the hat trick on the last one. That's his 4th goal in this game as he's trying to put some shots at. Is that one almost going to find the net? But with 30 seconds left, it's like these guys are going to have to regroup on a Forbidden Temple if we're going to want to see the streak stay alive and possibly get to a game 5.
Yeah, I fully agree. 15 seconds left is pretty much a wash here in game number 3. Going to go to the east side, but Dre going to stick with it, gets it past one of the last defenders there with a nice mechanical play, but cannot turn it into a conversion. And oh my goodness, the East are just starting to swarm this ball rocker, man. I think that if they go into the momentum that they ended game 3 with into game 4, West is going to be hard pressed to take this win.
Yeah, I mean, it really is going to be tough for the West because what's going on with the East, like I mentioned before, they're trying to get mechanical. They're jumping, they're pre-jumping each other. They're just beating the West to these balls and forcing double commits, and it's working out really well for him. And you got to try to stop Kusei. I know it's a difficult task. He's one of the best, but you got to contain him here. You can't let him get 4 goals on you. You're not going to win like that. And Malo's doing his best. He ends up being the scorer here, which I'm not sure I was expecting necessarily. But he's putting the goals here, and we need a little bit more support from Brindy and Steptune here as we're into game number 4. Forbidden Temple, always crazy. We got the Novice League on Forbidden Temple in the All-Star match here. The West, their streak might die here. It might go to 5-1 here if the East can close it off. But as you mentioned, it seemed like there were a couple of times there was some plot armor going on. So we'll see if they can get it instead into game 5. Oh my goodness, Brindy is trying to make something happen there.
Yeah, Brindy pulling out the skyline right there. Almost getting that mechanical play to go off. He just barely misses that ball. Septune out of the corner. Going to take control. Gets demoed. Brindy going to avenge his friend, but can't get control of the ball. Gets a touch, sending it out to the mid, but Malo's beat out by the defender. Septune is awkward, but Izachad going to miss his shot there. And Septune goes up the backboard, clears the ball away. Kusei with the soft touch towards the net. It's going to get cleared out by Malo. Kusei's up, looking for a touch. He does find it towards the net. It hits the crook of the wall and waterfalls down, but nobody else from the East there to capitalize on the situation. Izachad with the shot, but can't get through Malo on the defensive line. And Septune gets the pinch, sends it all the way down. Brindy with the demo on Dre. The ball's out towards the mid. Malo's there for the shot, but Izachad is there on defense and makes the stop. And Dre a little bit awkward down to Kusei, who's got a shot on a net. Brindy not able to get back in time to make the stop.
Yeah, they're going to push this one out. Kusei just beating that last defender, and I thought he got a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too far out on that one, but Brindy just so close to missing that one, and now the East leading here with still 30-40 to go, so we're going to have to see. And, Psycho, I know both these teams have got to be feeling some pressure, whether they would admit it or not. Oh my goodness, Dre, what the pass? Oh, what a redirect there as he puts the little Kusei puts it in, and this is what I was talking about. This is a dangerous duo right here.
Yeah, it certainly is. Dre getting up there and taking that ball away from Brindy. Not only that, but able to maintain his car with good control, getting the second touch and putting an absolute dime out to the mid for Kusei to get to. And now East absolutely running away with this as Kusei beats out pretty much the whole team, it looked like.
Yeah, it's another goal for Kusei. He is putting the team on his back here, and I mean 3 goals. And again, the pressure has got to be solely on the West right here. Psycho, as they find themselves down 0-3. I know they're having fun here, but these guys do not want to be the ones. It's all about those bragging rights, Psycho. You do not want to be the team that costs the perfect record for your league. And after seasons of Nemesis, you don't want to be the team that ends it. But on the other side, the East, they want to be the team that ends it. And it might just be Kusei, the man to end it, as he's got 4 goals in this game.
I'll tell you what, I'm glad that Pantheon's in the East because I've never been so ashamed in my life. I can't believe this. I'm disowning all these people.
Oh, no. They're doing their best, Psycho. They're doing their best.
They're doing their best. Yes, it's all good, and it's all stars anyways. This is, at the end of the day, this is mostly for fun. This is just to help showcase, ladies and gentlemen, this helps showcase some of the best players in each of these individual leagues. And even though the West is not having a great night here tonight, it's just the way it turns out. Sometimes you get the East conference that's got all the just, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Stars. I was like, I'm going to say a bad word. But yeah, they just got all the stars, and it just so happened to fall in favor of the East this season in the Novice League. The East is just stacked, and they have been pretty much the entire season. Like, whenever I was on the Ninjas earlier in the season, any team that we played that was in the East, they just destroyed us.
Yeah, I mean, oh my goodness, here comes a goal. Wait a minute though. We can't stop there. Mallow's coming back here. There's still 2:10. He said, all right, you guys need to stop talking about this. I am coming here, hitting a little bit of an angle, finding that slot just enough. And with 2:10 left, there's still a chance. But I do want to bring briefly before we continue on about this game. Yeah, there are 4 teams that are from the East that are 8-2 or better here. We have Frost, Aurora, Wisps, and Kiwis, all 8-2 or 9-1 this season. So, and the only 2 that are even close to that is Vandals at 8-2 and Spitfires at 7-3. So, you're right about that. The East does have some really great teams, but as we're down to it, the West might have an opportunity here. Kusei gonna make a save, and they gotta start putting the pressure on here. Does the West with 1:45 to try to find something.
Yeah, less than 2 minutes left on this clock. West got a big deficit to overcome, and Chad not interested in giving them any room to breathe as the ball bounces back towards the East defensive zone. And then Dre sending it up, but misses his second touch. Kusei also missing his touch, getting a little bit faked out by Malo there. Malo trying to take his time, but it's not going to work out for him as Chad is not going to give him any space. And we just seeing the East guys just rotate in and out so seamlessly. And Kusei once again showing off his mechanical ability. 5 goals from this man with 8 shots. That is insane.
Yeah, the man he's just so good. It's like
he's him.
And there's a reason he is 5th in Nemesis in goals per game. And wait a minute here, Mallow gonna get another one. I mean, if there's anyone from the West that's having a chance here, it's Mallow trying to put the team on his back. Even though he may have pinched the last goal in over there, he's gonna pinch this kickoff into the net. And yeah, Kusei, so good there, so good. Definitely gonna be in the running for MVP at the end of the season. You have to think. And well, with 1:02 left here, Psycho, the West, they need 3 goals, which is not impossible, but they've got to start quickly here, and they can't let Kusei get another one here. Oh my goodness, he's trying there, and a shot going to come through. Ooh. Perfect snipe is a Chad upper 90 with 52 seconds left.
And that is just not what you want right there. That's not the scenario that you need if you're the West. 6-2 with a 52 minutes, 52 seconds left on the clock is a rough position to be in. Mathematically, it's possible for them to make a comeback here, but just the way the East have been playing, the way Kusei has been popping off, and I mean, even Dre and Chad, though they haven't been scoring all the goals, they've been really solid on their defense. They've been really solid on their midfield and their passes out to Kusei. And Dre, just, I don't even know what just happened. The man just like floated down the field.
Like, and this is what I was expecting from the East these last couple of games. Obviously, this one's going to end in an East win, the first ever for the Novice League East. But these last two games, this is what I expected from the beginning. And you got to give credit to the West for hanging in there at the beginning and doing their best. But I really do think that you probably have Dre and Kusei, maybe maybe the top two players in Novice, you could argue, on the same team here. And obviously, Chad, he's one of those great players as well. As he's trying to put another one in, he
My
will,
God.
of course. You can't let him keep doing that to you. I mean, he's a leader on that Frost squad. Put another one in, 8-2, and I mean, these guys just are running away with things here. And I mean, East, they're finally going to do it though, Psycho. This East team, it's the one to take down the West. The perfect record is, it has been stopped.
That's a tough one. But they did do it. Congratulations to the East, pulling out the first All-Star dub in Nemesis history. And not only pulling it out, but I mean, absolutely demoralizing the West. They just put... I don't even know. I don't even got words, Rocker Man. I'm ashamed of myself.
They sat him down, Psycho. They said, sit down. It's our time to shine here. The East is back. The West, they may have won the first ever provisional. They may have won the GM showdown. But the East putting one on the board for the night for the Eastern Conference. And, it's always a cool thing, Psycho. I really love the East versus West battle. These teams going at it, kind of representing your entire conference. And I think it gives everyone, across the league someone to root for. You can root for your conference, you can root against the other conference. And the East, they really, I mean, it was Kusei. It was Kusei who put a huge report. Obviously, Dre was great. Chad scoring as well. But really, Kusei just putting some work in there in those last two games. And the East, I mean, they've got to be happy here to finally get on the board. There's going to be no more memes, Psycho, about them getting reverse swept last season, not having any wins in the Novice League. They've got one on the board, and big props to them. They did it in commanding fashion.
Yeah, they certainly did. They look good doing it. So congratulations to the East Novice team pulling out that dub, making Nemesis history, breaking the chain, breaking the curse, if you will. But that's going to wrap us up, ladies and gentlemen. At least for this game, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be moving up to the Prospect League where we have, you guessed it, the same stuff. East versus West All-Star games. It's going to be some juicy action. You don't want to miss it. We will be right back.
My